This is it. I finally am gonna get one of the hardest mounts in the game in terms of time consumption. Skyward Sledgehammer 3, 500,000 points in Miner. And Landking of the World, 500,000 points for skybuilders and all disciples of the land classes. And finally, Castle in the Sky, because I already have the Hand of Creation. That gets us, if you go over here, instead of going on Ishgardian, you can claim rewards here. We get a freaking pterodactyl. So, this took me so long, and I'm actually going to go over some of the steps it takes to obtain it like this. It's so beautiful, this one. This is the ultimate prize of the Ishgardian restoration, and we're going to go over, like, the steps to get it and all that. But first, let's talk about the crafting and gathering sides. I'm not going to go super into detail. I'll just say that I melded a little extra craftsmanship on total control. I used the soul crystal and the CP. Now, I did use chili crab, and I use the syrup here, commanding syrup, that's plus 42 control, instead of cunning syrup, which is 16 CP, because that extra control means I was able to almost hit 100% high quality. Now, the secret was to go for the second grade artisanal stuff with the 490 gear. And the reason for that, even though right now the scores are not perfect, if I go over here, I'll show you that between 5.3 and 5.31, we didn't have the third phase, meaning the points were far less. You can see here that it's like way under what it used to be, whereas grade 3 is still much higher. But second grade did have maximum turn-in for a period of time, so it was absolutely perfect. So I pretty much had like 100% high quality most of the time, and 80% success rate where I did quality first and then did all the progress. Now let's talk about Diadem, however you say it or pronounce it. Go in. God, I'm exhausted. You can probably tell from my voice that I've been worn out after all this time doing this crap. So let's hop on this beautiful, glorious mount. You can hear the music. It's the finished Ishgardian restoration song. Keep in mind we're in grade 3 right now, not 4, so I'm pretty sure this advice will change. First, you gotta hit all the breakpoints. And I'm gonna swap back to my Ishgard gear set here. So 2740 gathering, 2642 perception is hit, and then I went all out on GP. Like the max is what, 923 right now, but I went 921 because I didn't want to plus one on the gloves and body. The secret to Ishgard is that you go through the islands here, and around this point you can start double hitting. So you will get to this island over here or so, and you have the attempts plus 5 nodes. You can hit them both, and that gets like 30 mats per 30 of 30 plus all the extra node bonuses. So here you just go straight forward because there ain't that much, there's a lot of space between the nodes. Here you double hit, you go one way, then double hit here, and you eventually double dip on this island for Miner as well. Then you go through and around here-ish, the route starts getting super close for Miner, and then you eventually pop on up, and you get doubles. The islands here on the corners, they have a bunch of monsters, so if you're doing this during a ranking season, you can go down to them and clear. Let's see what else. Now let's discuss Botanist, same thing, and you can see that I'm using the relic in Sky Sun state. That's the highest it goes at this time recording. Super useful with that plus 8 GP and the gathering focus. You can melt better, but again, super useful. So gathering, you wanna double hit up here when you go through this section-ish. Then you double hit, double hit, double hit. And then you double dip here on the gathering attempt nodes. You go forward through here. Like, these islands are way too spread apart, but you do eventually want to hit a little here so you can get both the +5s. And then Fisher, you can go for like the Moses, the Manta, etc. You want 2300 gathering stat, which you want to use, and I'm going to show the items here. You want to use a high quality mushroom saute for 7-6 gathering. Or you can use a high quality pepper papados, that would be +50 to GP and +38 to gathering. I know not a lot of people like going for GP, but in my opinion it's one of the best stats because you have a higher buffer. You can go, for example, a couple hits in the node, and then you're ready for Blessed or Kings, and you want to use Bountiful. If you have higher GP, you have a higher buffer room on when you can pop the high cordials. Which in fact brings me to the final point I want to make. And this is the only one that's actually going to be fully relevant in the future as well. So if you go, after turning in items, you get some skybuilder scripts, you go to the script exchange, you can get something called a Steel Sky Pirate Spoil. This was obtained in the old Diadem, back when we didn't have Ishgard, Restoration, etc. So what you do is you go to the entrance of any housing area, as I'm about to do so here, and you go to the person who trades for the spoils, and you can get high cordials that way. And that's fantastic because it means you don't have to go farm for scripts, and you can pretty much be self-sustaining. This person here, the spoils collector, under steel spoils, they exchange 1 high cordial for 1 steel sky pirate spoil. And I did that for a lot. That's how I still have 735 high cordials, even though I just finished getting Divine Provider and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, the time commitment for this is ridiculous. Even with the item level power creep loophole that I mentioned for crafting, even then, with that taking like 12 hours, 15 hours per crafter, the gathering part, you can only really just beef up on your stats and then hit the breakpoints so you can do the fancy node magic with the high cordial as I just described. You're still gonna have to gather an enormous amount of mats, which I did. And again, I'm recording this off the cuff. Like, I'm exhausted. I've been gathering for a long time. And the crafting part was also very tiring. But I mean, look at this guy. It's a pterodactyl. In my opinion, it's worth it. But good God, there's a good reason why it's one of the most exhausting and comprehensively tiring mounts to get in this game. And thank you for watching, and if you're mad enough to go for this, I wish you the best of luck. It's probably going to be grade 4 for you because that's the last stage of Ishgard, but maybe you're at level 90 when the next X-Pack is a thing and you can just train die in groundwork or whatever the skills are, but I don't foresee the gathering portion getting too nerfed, and if it does, I'll gladly eat those words. Anyway, thank you for watching.